Oh, that was scary. Holy crap, that was scary.
We almost got caught in an infinite loop,
Yeah.
you and I.
Wow, almost got caught in an infinite loop, but you know what? Nah, fuck it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Runeterrable Radio. I am your host, Blevins. With me, as always, is Saucy Mailman. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, dude?
Oh, it's great. We have already had Twitch issues and all sorts of stuff, but luckily, we're a podcast, and Twitch is merely ancillary. So take that, Twitch.
Yes.
We don't need you.
Yes. We don't need you, Twitch. Remember.
I don't know. The show doesn't need you. We love you.
When
Twitch.
I say we, I specifically mean Runeterrable Radio.
Yes.
Oh, do you hear that? That's Twitch knocking on my door to take away my money.
Twitch,
We need all those payments back.
Twitch FBI, open up. Oh, but regardless of Twitch issues, one thing we didn't get delayed or have be messed up completely was spoilers. We are in the midst of spoiler season.
It's not even spoiler season. This is the most intense. This is, you know how that expression, drinking from a fire hose?
Yes.
That's how I feel with spoilers right now, because before we can even digest the ones we got the day before, it's like, all right, here's a new set of completely different shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
It has been awesome getting literally daily stuff. Like, what? I mean, back in the old days, Magic used to do this, where like it was literally every day, except it was only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, it was only Monday through Friday, but you'd get them at midnight. Like, I used to love that. You would get the embargo would go up at midnight, so every site or Wizards would post them at midnight of the day. So I would always stay up and watch and get. Now we're getting sort of that at 9 Pacific or noon Eastern. And we even got him on the weekend, Saucy. What? This is unheard of. They had it scheduled for the weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So
it's
good.
a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have so let's see. When we the first show, we only had Terriaric.
Yes.
I'm trying to mispronounce everything because people get so mad. Terriaric we got.
And Lou.
That was it, right?
Did we have Lolu?
I don't think we had Lulau.
You know what? I don't remember. See, I don't remember now. Well, we're going to talk about it. We're just going to talk about everything jointly anyway, because that's how I have the cards in front of me. So it's going to be awesome.
Terriaric and Lulau.
Terriaric and Lulau and Nocturne. And
ooh, yeah, add that E. Nocturne.
And Trundella.
T Rundle.
T Rundle, okay.
Rundle, yeah.
Okay, I was thinking like Nelson Trundella, but there's not an extra E after. I need another E.
This is unrelated, but speaking of stupid champion names, I hate Vi's name because whenever you're trying to find artwork of Vi, that's not like a thing. You type Vi in and it doesn't come up anywhere. Even when you're on like Mobilex and you type in Vi because it's just 2 letters, it's like, oh, here's every card that has a V in it.
Yep.
You're like, come on.
Exactly.
Vile Feast and
yeah. You just that's the actual art. It's Vile Feast. Vi is
That's Vile Feast is a picture of Vi.
Yep.
If you didn't know what the art was, everyone thinks that's an arrow. It's not. It
is a picture of Vi flexing. I actually don't.
And it's not an arrow either. It's the spider thing. But
yeah,
it looks like an arrow.
I can't even think about what Vile Feast looks like, because you know what?
It looks like an arrow.
Vile Feast is not in Call of the Mountain. Therefore, don't care about it. It's dead to me.
Wait, what?
Call of the Mountain. The name of the set.
Huh. Man, this is so.
You're making me double guess whether that's been revealed or not, which it definitely has. So I'm like, I might need to stop the recording. If I hit stop streaming right now, I've got like a 2-minute buffer to to prevent it from going out.
So this is. So I don't know if you've had this same feeling in places that you frequent, your local coffee shop, your sandwichery, and places online. But this has been an insane, like, as far as card game set releases have gone, this one's been very mixed by a lot of people, and it's been like super interesting to watch people arguing back and forth whether they think things are good or bad or unplayable.
Yes.
It's been a lot.
There is a card that, let's just start it off, because this is a card that I did not think, like, this is not even to talk about its playability or its power level. I didn't think people would be talking about this card to the level that they have been. The card Whimsy, of all cards. 4-mana burst spell. Transform a follower into a 1/1 squirrel and silence it this round. It is also notably Lulu's spell, Lulu's champion spell. This card, throughout, I mean, maybe this is the insulated sort of competitive community that I've been watching and reading, Discord messages and going into different streams and hearing people. This card, I've seen the full Monty, and not only the full Monty of evaluations of it. It's like people are digging their heels in for how good or bad this card is. I've seen people say that it's unplayable. I've seen people say that it is format warping, and I've seen people say that it's like kind of an all right card. And not only that, they're just like, no, this is 100% the right answer. How do you not see how this card is? Insert my opinion. More so than I think any other card I've seen. Why are we talking about this card so much?
Yeah.
Like,
and like you said, these are like high level, masters players.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like, people that play this
literally
game a lot.
top
And
10 players.
It's crazy. It's either this is the first card to get banned, or this will see no play.
Yeah,
it's insane.
People are talking about this card getting nerfed. Now, my personal opinion is that it is a fine card. It is a fine option. I think it is. Swim, I think, put it best in one of his discussions of it. It has a lot of range of playability. It can be a essentially a combat trick. It can be a frostbite. It can be kind of like a Will of Ionia. It can kind of be like a vengeance of sorts. It can kind of be, but it's almost never better than having that answer, that other answer in your hand. But because it has that variety of modes, that's what makes its range makes it strong. Not its like upper echelon of power.
Yep. And I think silence we need more of, and it's a strong card in that regard. When I first saw it, I thought the card was absolutely broken until I read that follower.
Right.
If it was just like unit, I'd be like, oh shit. Like if it was transform an enemy, I'm like, okay. If you can hit champs with this, it'd be really
It would
good.
be insane. Which
but
I think
they're only followers.
Right. Yeah, I think they're keeping silence away from being able to hit champions, which I like. I like that champions have that like sort of unwritten law of like you can do a lot of things to champions, but you can't silence them. I kind of like that.
We'll get all the champion removal when Void comes out with Obliterate.
Right, which would be sweet.
I just made that up.
Yeah, we don't actually know.
Call of the Void.
Yeah, we don't know.
Void of the Mountain.
Void of the Mountain is actually the name of the set. You heard it here first. We're spoiling it. Sorry, Riot. We're breaking NDA saying Void of the Mountain.
We just spoiled it to Riot. They didn't even know yet.
Right, they didn't even know. Yeah, we didn't hit send on our email yet. But Whimsy, I
want to talk about Whimsy. Not necessarily even the card itself. Can we just talk about Lulu for a second? Because this is one that not even what the card does. anything about the card, I've never seen so many people this angry about artwork on a card before.
God, yes. It's like, do they think that Lulu is supposed to be like a human, or that she's not supposed to be crazy? Her card spell is literally called Whimsy.
Yeah.
Whimsy is the name of her spell. She's supposed to be fucking whimsical. What?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe people care that much about it. They're like, oh, they should change the art. Her eyes are too big. Oh, her proportions aren't correct. It's like, I don't even know why I have to sit here defending the honor of a fake character, the art of a fake character. Why do you care? And also, I just don't see it.
I was for her. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's not my favorite art, but I don't have any ill feelings about it.
I think she looks weird, like every other fucking Yordle in the game. You know,
So I was talking about how excited I am for Lulu because I think she's cool. So for whatever reason, if you don't have access to the internet, I don't know how you listen to this via our carrier pigeon podcast service.
I do go out at 4 a.m. every morning and hand deliver the podcast to a number of subscribers. Yeah. I deliver a newspaper version, and you can get that yourself for only $1,000 a month. I should not say that because I won't actually do that. Yeah. You know what? Fine. If you pay $1,000 a month, I will get you a hand. I'll get you a newspaper version. Yep.
Transcript. Anyways, Lulu, she's interesting. She's someone I'm very excited to play.
Yeah.
3 mana, 2/3 support. My supported ally grows up to 4/4 this round.
Yep.
When she's leveled up, she's also whatever. When she's leveled up, it's a 5/5, and she creates a fleeting help pixie in hand, which who cares about that? I'm going to be playing
that card's really
this
good.
with Teemo day one.
Yes.
I'm more excited to grow up Teemo. Yes. I just want to grow up Teemo all day.
Yeah, I think Lulu, she's looking to be one of the better champions that we've seen so far. I think, and it helps that there's a lot of other good Ionia cards. I mean, let's not even get started with Swole Squirrel. I mean, such a sweet card.
That's the best card. So, and I'm a little upset with Riot because when I was in my board meeting with Riot, as I was every Thursday morning, we were talking about releasing, spoilers for the set. And they're like, oh, we want to release Swole Squirrel. I'm like, we can't release the best card in the entire set this early.
Right.
Like, that's clearly the best, the strongest. This card can never be topped ever. Like, and they wanted to first put it out in the first expansion, which was stupid. And then just like, early set of spoilers just show the strongest, best card in Swole Squirrel. I told them not to, but does Rito ever listen to me?
No.
Apparently not.
Nope. All I'm saying is that I want some Swole Squirrel art. I want a Swole Squirrel little legend in TFT. I want a Swole Squirrel Guardian. I want a Swole Squirrel, not even a plush because that wouldn't. I want a Swole Squirrel statue. I want it all.
Pillow.
I don't even know. That would be so much stuffing. It would be like 300 pounds of body pillow, but it'd be worth it.
It would, but it's worth it. Yeah. It fills a whole room, and it's amazing. I can't wait. Jokes aside, I'm going to be playing a bunch of stupid decks with this card.
Oh, but speaking of stupid decks and cards that enable said stupid decks, Fey Guide may be our in to play Ionia in Emusives. I'm in on Fey Guide. No longer do we need to play such trash cards as Sumpworks maps. Sumpworks map. We can now play Fey Guide to give our Moose elusive and start bashing in. I love it.
Fey Guide's good. And people, this is another card. There's a lot of cards, and I don't know if it's due to complexity of this game or people being newer to card games, but a lot of people are not reading the text on cards. They read how they think the card should read. This does grant an ally elusive.
Yes.
They get that. They keep it. It's not like till the end of turn. So like so many people are like, this card's shit. Like, I'm like, who gives it elusive? Like, go until end of turn. I'm like, no, you added that.
Yeah,
in your
you
own
added
brain.
that.
You put that.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I do think, it at some level boils down to the classic Magic mantra of RTFC, or read the fucking cards.
Yeah.
But
that's our class for you.
yeah, that's our MTG class. If you're playing the Runeterrable radio bingo game, we made a deep cut Magic reference. You can mark off that square.
Yeah.
I will say that I feel both sides, because, like, yes, it is not unclear based on reading the card. Like, carefully reading the card, it is not ambiguous or unclear based on what they've said. Grant is always permanent, and it doesn't say until end of round on here. So I get the people are saying, well, it just don't, just read the card and you'll know what it does. On the other hand, I do have to give some credence to where, like, there is, and for whatever reason, and I'm not a sociologist or whatever, I'm not going to claim to know why this happens, but there is something to be said when a large portion of people are inherently thinking that this is until end of turn, or until end of round. So I almost want some bit of formatting on it. Like, you know how they added the little circle on the cards for skills like Ledros, and I almost want something like that, to, like, just a little visual indicator of, like, okay, this is actually going to be permanent versus until end of turn. I mean, they don't technically need to, but that would be like a quality of life type of thing, I think, that might be useful. It can also be confusing, because we look at a card like Nocturne, who technically has both grant and give in his ability, so you probably can't do that. At the end of the day, just read the card, but it's still...
The symbol on Nocturnes is just 2 middle fingers. Like,
yeah.
Figure it out, idiot!
Right, yeah. It grants and gives, motherfucker. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about Whimsy. I'm curious where you land on this one, Saucy, because to me, people are like, oh, this is like... okay, I'm just gonna call him out. Morpadorp. I love you, buddy, but you were saying that this is like Oko's ability, and I'm like, here's another deep cut Magic reference. I'm like, this is not like Oko at all. Like, the effect of, like, you're silencing something and turning it into something else, that is like Oko, but Oko was a value engine. It was it could create power. It would do it multiple times. This feels like Turn to Frog to me. And I feel like Turn to Frog has never been a playable ability or a playable type of card in Magic. Now, the first thing that people say is that, oh, well, Unsummon is usually not playable either. And Will of Ionia literally got nerfed. To which I say, good point. But that just shows that it is possible that something that is not playable or good in Magic is good in Runeterra. It doesn't prove that everything that was bad in Magic is good in Runeterra, right?
Yeah. I personally think the card is good. If I'm giving it like a power rating from 1 to 10, like 10 being Teemo and 1 being Yasuo, I would give it like
for reference, the Teemo is good and Yasuo is bad for people who don't know the inside
obviously.
joke.
And you should know.
You definitely should.
I'd say it's like a 6.5, 7. Like,
I was going to say the
it's
exact
really
same thing, 6.5.
This exact card exists in Hearthstone.
Yeah, it does. Well, the card in Hearthstone is better. Polymorph is better than this because it hits everything and it's permanent, right? This is...
Yeah, I think it is good. I don't think it's put 3 copies in every single deck that has Ionia every time. That's a Teemo, if you guys don't understand how it works.
Right.
But I think this is a very meta dependent card as well.
Definitely.
If we're seeing, if we do see the world where buffs become super prevalent and powerful, this card's it's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're in a world where everyone's just jamming 1-drops, sure.
Jamming 1-drops, or like everyone's like, oh, this counters Fury of the North. It's like, well, kind of does.
Unless they put it on their Anivia.
Unless they put it on their Sejuani or their Trundle, which we'll talk about. I just like
I think it's all right. I think it's good. I don't think it's meta warping, and I don't think it's
No.
dog shit.
I'm not even. Yeah, I think it is. I think a 6.5 is exactly correct. It's just very curious to me that it has been such a polarizing card. Okay, well, we're kind of jumping around here, but let's talk about.
Do we want to talk about any of the Lulu based cards
I was
going to
say let's do Ionia. So I think the help picks is actually a really good card.
Yeah, it's cool
From Lulu.
Awesome.
I'm not actually sure if you can even put it in your deck. Like literally, I don't know if it is.
I don't think you can.
Based on
no
the picture, right? Based on the picture, it doesn't look like you can, but also I don't trust that.
Yeah. Also, consistency.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool. I like this because cards that give you choices are good. Like that's why
Yes.
Twin Disciplines is so strong.
Yes.
So you can either give barrier or vulnerable around.
Yes.
It's very, very cool for 1 mana.
Right.
Like that's really strong.
Yep.
I immediately go to, because I'm gonna be playing Lulu Fizz because Fizz is amazing, and cards like this with Fizz are awesome, like really good. We've seen vulnerable being used a lot lately with all of the Undying decks.
Yep.
So yeah, that card's just great.
Yeah, I think the fact that you get a free one every turn at the beginning of round every turn for Lulu is great. The fact that it can be used offensively and defensively. You can use it.
It protects herself.
It protects herself. The other cool thing about Lulu is that her level up ability, she doesn't need to see it. It just needs to happen. So she can level up while she's in your deck, which is just like so key. A 3 mana 2, like if it was, I've seen allies been supported 3+ times, I think she's probably a bottom 5. She's really not great. But the fact that like in a non-zero number of your games, she's just always going to be leveled up seems really, really strong. She is a little bit more of a committal champion in a sense that like you don't necessarily have to build around her, but I think she's going to benefit a lot by building around her, right? Like you want the lower curve so that you can play her and have something out to be able to support. You want to obviously be playing a follower or unit heavy strategy. You know, you can't play her really in like a Ezreal Karma style of deck, right? Obviously because she's neither Ezreal nor Karma, but like
that's true.
Confirmed, Lulu is not Ezreal or Karma. She seems really strong though. Yeah. Seems really, really strong though.
She seems good. Other interesting cards. What do you think of the Flower Child? It's the 1 mana 1/2. When I'm supported, grant me +2 attack.
I think Flower Child is also potentially a really strong card. Again, it's going to kind of depend. Like we already see a good number of support cards. I mean, just like how good is Flower Child into Young Witch? Like it's so strong. Like the problem, of course, being that Flower Child is, I think, more so than a lot of other cards that are in a similar like aggressive state. Like I'm thinking Jagged Butcher. Flower Child is significantly worse on the wrong attacking turn, right? Like I'm trying to think. I guess turn 1 it doesn't matter. I guess turn 2 maybe you want this on even attacks, but like Flower Child is really bad late game, obviously, like if you don't have the right support. And it's +2/+0. I'm less. I was thinking it was +2/+2, but it's actually just +2/+0.
If it's +2/+2, it
would be busted for sure.
Yeah, unfair.
I think
that's why you gotta just give her support that gives her health.
Right,
you're set.
Like Lulu.
Was that stupid Targon guy? Wasn't there a Targon guy that did that?
Yes, there is. There's a Targon guy. The 2 mana 2/2 grants supported ally +0/+2.
Yeah, there's the combo. Flower Child into Tyrelli the Traveler.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. And I think that there could theoretically be a aggressive, support style strategy. And I think a lot of people will try it out at the beginning. But like, I mean, you look at the card Pix, which is a 1 mana 0/1 support, give my supported ally +2/+1. Flower Child, like, are you playing Targon? Obviously, it's hard to theory craft with Targon because we don't know all the cards yet. The natural thought is, oh, it's going to be Demacia, and it's like, okay, you know, Flower Child into War Chefs, pretty good.
That's really good.
But like, how, like, is Flower Child enough of a payoff to, like, you know, justify running it where it's just going to be so bad a lot of the time, or at least some of the time, where you could just play, like, you know, other 1-drops, especially in Demacia. I don't know. It's close.
Yeah, remains to be seen.
My gut says it's probably on the lower side of playability, but I think that there could exist a deck that is like hyper aggressive, and this could work. Young
I like
Witch,
cards like this because it's not like a 1-drop that is just you put it in every deck. I like that. I like cards that reward deck, you know, building.
Yes.
And not just, it's good, throw it in. Like Swole Squirrel. That's the problem with him. He's too good. What were you going to say? You were going to say something that made sense.
He's too thick. No, I was just going to talk about Young Witch, which is I'm very excited about. It's got one of my favorite keywords, of course, elusive, and it's an elusive unit that has support, which is already just a built-in combo. Support, give my supported ally quick attack and +1/+0 this round. She solves one of the major problems with support units is like, well, I have to also attack with my support unit, right? And a lot of times it's not getting supported itself. Now, again, this set might lead us more towards there being a lot of supported units, but now you don't need to worry about it. She's just the enabler.
Yeah, she's like the Legion War Drummer we all want.
Right, exactly. She's what we want Legion War Drummer to be. The issue, of course, is she's really bad if there's any elusive out for your opponent, because she's
horrible on her own. She's a useless,
you
know, follower on her own. She's a 2-mana 1/1.
Right, which is real bad, because you know
does not pass the vanilla test.
No, we're not even at the point. We haven't even seen a scenario where a 1-mana 1/1 elusive with extra abilities is playable. That pirate is not really seen any play.
What is it, the Cutthroat or whatever?
Yeah, something Cutthroat.
Did I just make that up?
No, I don't think it's River Cutthroat. It's something Cutthroat. Well, I give up. Podcast over. Podcast over. I don't know why I said that like Trade Prince Gallywix, but where's my cut? Blevin's doing a Hearthstone voice. You can check off that bingo card. Cross that off your bingo card. Someone's gonna.
Let's make bingo boards. So for our podcast during the release, because we'll do this podcast live for the release. That's literally next week, eh?
That is literally 1 week from today. 1 week from today, we are going
for that
to
episode. Let's give out bingo cards for everyone.
Ooh. But wait, how does that work if everyone has the same bingo card?
No, it's randomizer. We'll figure out, we'll give out different ones to different people.
I'll let you take the lead on that initiative because I'm too stupid to do that.
I'm going to give Cosine Joe the one that just has all the spaces that say Blevins does a Hearthstone.
But you can only do it one. You can only do it one at a time. So I need to make 25.
He'll fill it up so fast.
BING. Oh yeah, I need to do 25. Yeah, 25.
All right. What do we? Let's talk. Lulu. I'm bored of talking about her. What do we want to talk about next?
I want to talk. Well, we don't need to go into the implications of this card, even though I think it's kind of playable. But Tasty Fey Folk is just the coolest card ever. It's a giant eggplant creature that literally got a bite taken out of it. I mean, please. Also, 3 mana 4/2 lifesteals. Possibly playable. Okay, where do you want to go next? Do you want to go to Freljord? Do you want to go to the Shadow Isles, Targon?
Let's talk about. Ooh, I don't know. Now you put me on the spot. Let's talk about Nocturne. Let's do the Nocturne cards.
Nocturne. Wait, I think I had this set up.
Nocturne. Oh, you were thinking it.
There we go. He sounds kind of.
I just want to talk about one card.
Okay.
I want to talk about. So we got. What's the stupid? It's called Nightfall. Is the new Shadow Isles keyword?
Is the new combo from Hearthstone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and so if it's not the first card you played this turn, it gets a bonus.
Yep.
Like the cards themselves seem like if the Nightfall condition is met, they all seem pretty strong, but you have to obviously play something first.
Right.
Which is really cool. So where was I going? Oh, I don't care about, I want to not talk about Nightfall. I want to talk about this card specifically because I think it is super awesome this card exists, and that's Passage Unearned. So
Okay.
this is another card that people think might be too strong, but I think it's dog shit.
Sideboard card.
It is a yeah, exactly. So it's a 3-mana fast spell, and it says obliterate all units that were summoned but not played this round.
Right.
So in Blevins and my theory crafted sideboard tournament world, this card's amazing.
Yeah.
In very specific metas, this could be
Right.
good. Like if it's the Hecarim meta. But this is another one of those cards, like you can only play it during certain times.
Yes.
Because in probably 8 out of your 10 games, it doesn't do anything. But then there's one or two games that you win from it, you get a cool YouTube highlight. But I just think it's like them creating interesting tech cards like this. I feel like it's very much a tournament card.
Yeah, and it really, I mean, this screams more so than any card that we've seen so far in Runeterra, period, to be a sideboard card, right? Like this is the feast or famine. It is you are getting value or you're getting nothing. It is not you're getting a lot of value or you're getting like a weak unit. You're getting actual 3-mana fast spell blank text, or you're getting a good removal spell, or at least a potentially good removal spell, which is
it's either like the best threshes the box ever or like
right.
nothing at all.
Right. Exactly. So I agree. I am very interested to see where this goes because the tournament scene thus far has not been that sort of sideboard format. There has been a couple of tournaments here and there, but I'd be very interested to see if that is the way that it ends up going, or if it's a way that it is tried out for sure.
Other than that, I think my favorite Shadow Isles card that was revealed.
Yeah.
They got the secret spoiled. Is Shroud of Darkness. 1-mana burst spell. The next time you summon an ally this round, give it +1/+0 and spell shield this round.
Ooh.
I think that card is very cool.
Yeah, it is. You ever just like been like, man, I really hope that they don't have Vengeance or Vile Feast or this like I can pay 1 mana and then they won't have it.
100% of the time I play a Callista, and they always have a grasp for her every time.
Yep.
It's really cool, and it's a 1-mana burst spell, so it turns on all of your Nightfall dudes.
True.
If you are playing that type of an archetype.
True.
It's really, really cool. I think it's an interesting card.
My favorite, one of my favorite ones, or the card that I'm possibly the most excited about is Encroaching Shadows. 4-mana burst spell.
Yeah.
Grant all allies in deck and hand +2/+2 and ephemeral. This is a combo deck, or like this is an all-in strategy waiting to happen, right? Like, I imagine we will see some form of Encroaching Shadows aggro deck, because it's like if you're playing an aggro deck where you're kind of all in anyway, like I don't care if my units are going to die. I just want to get more face damage. Very interesting card. Especially since like we've already kind of seen in the first set like this ephemeral theme kind of pop up, right? Where like, Shark Chariot and all of those other cards.
How good is this with Chariot?
Oh, this is insane with Chariot. You just
always
have Chariot out, and your the first time you play Chariot, if you play it after this, it's bigger. But it really, of course, makes you. What's really cool about it is it will change how you build your Shadow Isles aggro deck, because as of now, it's always been like, okay, well, I'm gonna put in the 3-mana 0/3 not Playful Trickster. What's the 3-mana 0/3 when something dies? Ping them.
Yeah, Trickster.
It's not Playful Trickster is Physis spell. It's something. It's something like that. I forget what it's called.
Prankster.
Prankster. Yes, Prankster. And the 5-mana one that drains every time something dies. It's like, okay,
Neverglade bullshit.
Neverglade. Yes, Neverglade bullshit is correct. Like, can't really play those cards in Encroaching Shadows because they're not going to get value. They'll get 1 turn of value, right? I mean, Encroaching Shadows with, well, it doesn't really do anything extra with Ledros, but it doesn't hurt Ledros really. Like, you're still going to play him.
Yeah.
Although
It's
he actually
really
would.
good with Hecarim.
Yeah, exactly. So look, my point is like, it's a card that theoretically is enough of a payoff to be like, okay, well, there's these staple aggro Shadow Isles cards. You're getting enough of a payoff to not play those and play some other cards like Shark Chariot, like, I mean, Hecarim has been playable, but like Hecarim and cards around that to like, you're really getting a lot of value on the synergy side here with Ephemeral, as well as pumping up all of your units. So really cool card from that aspect. And also like, I mean, it's 4 mana burst. It can come out really early. Like, this card could be devastating.
Yeah. Even like when all of your 1-drops become very strong threats.
Yeah.
Like, and we've had points of time where ephemeral aggro has been very good.
Mm-hmm.
This could, yeah, I think this card could be very strong.
Yeah. Plus, like, stuff like Rekindler, like the unit it creates is not ephemeral. Wraith Caller, their Mist Wraith won't be ephemeral. So like that, and that's possible. And we now have another Mist Wraith creator in Risen Mists, which is a 4 mana burst spell, summon a Mist Wraith, which also is not get hit by Encroaching Shadow. So could be a really interesting deck around that. But let's talk about the dude himself, Nocturne.
Big Daddy Noct.
Big Daddy Knock. 4 mana, 5/3. Has Fearsome, innately. Nightfall, again, which is if he's not the first spell played by you. Nightfall is grant an enemy vulnerable and give enemies -1/-0 this round. And his level up is you've attacked with 5+ Nightfall allies. And then when he's flipped, he becomes a 6/4. He still has Fearsome and gives he has a passive ability of other allies have Fearsome, and when you play a unit, give enemies -1/-0 this round. So
yeah,
very much all in on the Nightfall plan, and also like a board control, like kind of aggro, but also like, I guess aggro, right? Because you're weakening the units so that they can't block the Fearsome.
Yep. He's very like, and he's got some incredibly aggressive stats. Like he's a 5/3 or a 6/4.
Right.
Did you ever play? I'm gonna make a Magic reference.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me a lot of the card Doomwake Giant. Did you ever play when that card was around?
Doomwake Giant, is it the?
It's an enchantment creature that gives all enemies -1/-1, but every time you play an enchantment or enchantment creature, it gives all enemies -1/-1.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't play with that one.
His flipped, like Nocturne's flipped effect is so sick. Whenever you play a dude, you make all of your like enemies weaker. Is such a cool thing. And his level up animation is S tier.
Yeah.
It is so good. So
yeah. Good. I mean, of course, the biggest determining factor of whether he's playable or not is going to be what does a Nightfall ally look like. I mean, we see a couple here. The Stygian Onlooker.
3 or 4?
We've seen, well, he would count. We see Dusk Rider, which is kind of a payoff. 5 mana, 2/5. Nightfall, give me +1/+0 for each time we've activated Nightfall this game. My question is when does Nightfall? Is Nightfall just when you play it? I guess that would make sense based on the formatting, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a play ability, but so yeah, so Dusk Rider is sort of a payoff again for attacking with Nightfall. Well, actually for activating Nightfall, so you don't actually need to attack with them, but for Nocturne you do. But like even like Stygian Onlooker is kind of powerful, but like again, you can't look at these Nightfall cards as what they say they are, right? Stygian Onlooker is not a 1-drop. Because if you play it as a 1-drop, it's just a 2/1. Dusk Rider is not a 5-drop. It's at best a 6-drop, or technically it could be a 5-drop if you use something like Warning Shot, but it's not a 5-drop, right? Because you need to play another spell, right? You need to play another card. So, like, yes, you can bank spell mana. That's actually really interesting. That's actually really interesting because in aggro decks you don't necessarily care that much about banking spell mana. I mean, think something like Darrowing. Like you would bank spell mana like going into a harrowing turn, but otherwise you're just kind of like maxing out your mana efficiency.
Yeah.
With Nightfall, you're like specifically needing to bank spell mana so that you can play Duskrider on 5, or whenever, and like, you know, play a spell to activate it, and then or to activate Nightfall and then play it on curve. Yeah. So I'm not sold on Nightfall yet. Is what I'm getting at.
It's an interesting. I think it's more nuanced than you would think just looking at it on like face value. Yes. I think there's quite a bit to it. I feel like this is a type of. I would love for this to be a mechanic that leads to a very aggressive deck that's very skill testing. But the thing is, we've only seen a few Nightfall cards. So if these are the only Nightfall cards we have, Nocturne's gonna be a lot harder to level up.
The one thing I will say is that Nocturne's spell, Unspeakable Horror, is actually a pretty good Nightfall enabler. Yeah. It is a 2-mana fast spell. It says drain 1 from anything, which can go face. And then Nightfall, create a random Nightfall card in hand. So that's, I mean, creating, again, that is really going to speak to what is the actual pool of Nightfall cards. And are we going to get Nightfall in other regions? If so, can we create Nightfall from other regions with this card? We don't know. Can this create a Nocturne in hand? Can it create a Nocturne if you don't have a Nocturne in your deck? Like, can you somehow add Nocturne into your deck? Can you just play Unspeakable Horror in your, you know, your Callista Hecarim deck and play Unspeakable Horror and just sometimes get Nocturne as well?
That'd be nuts.
That would be kind of cool.
The way it's worded would technically make it seem so.
Exactly. Though, again, I don't trust any of the wordings on the cards until there's confirmation, because it can be.
I love Shadow Isles, so I want to talk about at least one more Shadow Isles card. Stalking Shadows. How do you feel about this card? Because I think it's super sick.
That was the one I was going to bring up as well.
Perfect.
It's what is it? Kind of like Impulse from Magic, a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so it's 2 mana, burst spell. Pick a follower from the top 4 cards in your deck, draw it, shuffle the rest into your deck, then create an ephemeral copy of it in hand. That's sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 mana. It's kind of 2 mana draw too, right? Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you miss,
but
stuff
that. Yeah, like this is really good for things that have good summon effects, right? Like if you're playing Wraith Callers, this is bananas, or Rekindlers. Think if you hit a Rekindler on this, like that is nuts.
Yeah.
Because we're already playing Fading Memories on Rekindler.
Right. I think this card is insane, especially since it's like
I think it's super good.
You get to pick from the top 4, so it's not even like draw a card. If it's a follower, create a ephemeral copy, which it could have easily been, right? This is just way better than that.
That's good.
Again, you have to use the right like mix of, you need to have enough followers in your deck, right? Or else it just misses. It can't hit champions, which of course is probably a good thing overall, but probably. I think that it's a really cool card. I mean, 2 mana burst is definitely, they are pricing it to be constructed playable. So
how
like
busted would it be if it hit champions? Because the ephemeral copy just turns into their spell when you play the champion.
That would be really stupid. It's an ephemeral spell. No, I think the card's really cool. I think the card's really cool. And I think we'll definitely see it.
Oh yeah.
Shadow Isles so far,
if you're playing against me.
Right. Shadow Isles so far seems like the region for like, hey, we are really leaning heavily into a part of the region that we have not really touched a lot. Yeah. So I like it a lot.
Scary.
What else did we get? Oh, we got Freljord. We got the trolls. There's a troll in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. This has been another one. This has been shrouded in controversy.
Yeah, controversy.
Controversy. All the new Freljord cards.
Yeah.
So the new Freljord keyword is behold.
Yes.
Which they worded it. The behold is if you hold something specific in hand. So the cards will always say what you need to behold, or in play. Yeah. But all of the ones they showed are 8+ card dudes, right?
Yes.
So yeah, the reveal was weird because like it makes me feel like they're gonna show cards that don't specifically say if you behold an 8+ card,
Right.
but all the ones they showed do say that. So like I want to talk about Faces of the Old Ones, which I don't like the art of, but it's a 2-mana 0/2. It's kind of like worse old Weirding Stones, but
Yes.
it's a round start. If you behold an 8+ cost card, get an extra mana gem this round.
Yeah.
I'm so on the fence about this card. I am super torn on this card.
I kind of hate this card because it does it like even more so than a card like Rampant Growth or other ramp cards really like makes the ramp deck super feast or famine, right? Like we already have seen this type of effect at 2 mana be very good across every game, essentially. Magic, Hearthstone, and even in Runeterra in the early days. 2 mana ramp.
2 mana Weirding Stones is so stupid.
2 mana ramp is good in general, right? And this one, like, even more so makes it feast or famine because if you already have the thing that you're looking to ramp into, it's better. So, like, you know, it's like, well, sometimes they just have the 8 cost thing and they ramp into it, and okay, I now know it's coming. What am I supposed to do about that? I mean, the whole like theme of the trolls, right, is Trundle, of course, 5 mana 4/6. When he's summoned, create an Ice Pillar, which is an 8 mana card. 8 mana. It's an 8 mana 0/8 follower with vulnerable that when you play it, it refills 8 mana. And then when you play it and at round start, give the strongest enemy vulnerable this round. So he creates the 8+ cost card, right? Like that's sort of the like all these cards like revolve around Trundle, but like Face of the Old Ones, like you want it on turn 2 and you want to already have your 8 drop, right?
Yeah.
And
so
if you do, it's really good.
Warmother's Call.
Right. If you do have that, it's insane. If you only have the Faces of the Old Ones on turn 2, it's not that good, which makes me think, like, do you ever really want to play this card? Like what?
I think that's what's interesting about the whole Behold set is they're all like that, right? They're all very either great or terrible because all the Beholds work kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Troll Scavenger, like 2 mana 1/3. You're never playing that. And when I'm summoned, if you behold an 8+ cost card, grant me +3/+0. Okay, 2 mana 4/3. Well, how many 8 drops do you need to be running in your deck to make that consistent? And at that point, like, you know, are you able to actually be playing a card that wants a 2 mana 4/3? My thought is that these cards are pretty jank. Like
they're gonna lead to some funny stuff. We got big what is it? Trundle's Icequake. That one's interesting.
Big Avalanche.
It's just like big avalanche. It's 8 mana slow spell. Give all units -3 this round. Deal 3 to all units. Shuffle a Trundle into your deck if it's the Trundle. That's his signature spell.
Yes. Yeah.
Icequake is interesting. I wish it wasn't slow.
Yeah, but I'm also kind of glad that it is.
It has to be. Like, it has to be slow, but man, it'd be really good if it's
it can really mess up combat for sure. Yeah, I'm not sold on most of these cards. I think Troll Chant is a pretty good combat spell. We've seen combat tricks be very good in Runeterra so far. It's 2 mana burst. Give an ally +0/+2 this round. Give an enemy -2/-0 this round. So can switch, 2 combats to be favorable, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's really gonna wreck people if they're not ready for it, of course.
Yeah. I think the maybe the best Behold card is the Augur of the Old Ones, I think is pretty strong, or is like situationally very strong. It's
Yes.
6 mana, 5/5 with Overwhelm and Regeneration. If you behold an 8+ cost card, grant an ally Overwhelm and Regeneration. That's a lot of keywords.
Yeah, overwhelm and regeneration is very good, and I mean, we have, what is it, a 5 mana 4/6 or 4/5 in Freljord that has overwhelm and regeneration. I forget what the stats are.
Something. It's
Something
got
like that.
stats.
It does have stats. Maybe it has tough too. I don't remember. But like 6 mana 5/5 overwhelm and regeneration is like already. I mean, it's probably not constructed playable, but it's kind of close.
Yeah.
It's really kind of close. And again, like if you have Augur the Old Ones later on, and you also have the Behold ability, great. Also, if you don't have the Behold ability, a 6 mana 5/5 with overwhelming regeneration is a fine card, unlike a 2 mana 1/3 or even a 4 mana 3/5. Like, you don't want to be playing those cards without the Behold. Like, that's the problem with a lot of these cards, is that they're very feast or famine.
I think something cool about this is being able to give something regeneration.
Yes,
could be very strong. This leads to a lot of interesting combos. It's like how when we were seeing like the Lee Sin with Overwhelm. Now being able to just give other stuff Overwhelm and Freljord is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Not having to be a Noxus for that. It's a cool ability, and I could see some weird combos that want this card's effect quite a lot.
And Saucy, what about Call of the Wild? We got more references to Yetis and Poros and Elnuks.
We did. So this is confirmed. Elnuks are tier 1. 3 mana burst spell for the top 4 cards in your deck. Draw each Yeti, Poro, and Elnuk. Shuffle the rest into your deck. This is 3 mana. Fill your hand with cards. Is how I'm reading it.
Yeah, I love it. The problem, of course, being that like the Poro deck, at least, like the problem with it was not that you ran out of cards to play. Like, you have Aurora Borealis, and that just gums up your hand, right? Like, you're never
it does.
Like, but and also, like, we don't, if there are no Yetis, Poros, or Elnuks added, then this is like kind of a moot point, because I don't think that this would go into, this isn't like markedly making a deck better right now. So
yeah.
Are we getting another Elnuk? I mean, every Elnuk that's added is just so much better for the Elnuk deck. And then of course, Yetis.
We've been seeing some Yeti stuff.
I mean, we've been seeing a lot of Yeti stuff, or at least, like, of course, the Trapper is insane. Yeah. And we've been seeing a little bit of the actual spell being played too. The 3 mana like
Tall Tales.
Yeah, Tall Tales. We've actually been seeing that played a little bit. At high level. So like, the problem is like, how many Yetis are you creating in your deck, right? Like, are you able to like stack? Is there a way to stack a bunch of Yetis on top of your deck and then play Call of the Wild to draw them? Because that would be insane, right? Because the problem is that you need to draw like 2 or 3 of them on a later turn. Because if you're just drawing the one Yeti that you created, you know, you're going through that hoop, and then you're paying 3 mana to draw it, and then you need to pay an additional 1. And I mean, playing a 4 mana 5/5 is good, but I feel like you want the high to be better than that.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
So
I think the last one that I care about talking about is because this is such an interesting card as well, and it's just interesting. It's the Revitalizing Roar.
Yes.
It's so interesting. So it's a 7 mana slow spell. You pick a unit in your hand. Pick a unit in your hand to reveal. Heal your Nexus by its power. If you are enlightened, you reduce its cost to 0.
Yes. I'm getting sneak attack-esque, or what's it called?
Show and tell?
Show and tell, or what's the 5 mana one? Breach.
Through the breach.
Through the breach. I'm getting that sort of feel from it. I like this card a lot, actually.
It's cool. I've misread this card a few times when I was reading it. The first time I glanced over it, I said this is the most broken card, but I didn't realize it had Enlightened on it. If it didn't have Enlightened, this card would be batshit crazy.
Yes.
If you could just play this on turn 5 to sneak out a 10 drop,
that would be
sure.
insane.
It has Enlightened, which sucks, but it does reduce its cost to 0 just forever.
Right.
It's not until end of turn.
Right. One combo that people have been talking about that this turns on is the ability to play both Ledros and Atrocity in the same turn. So if you're at 10, if you're at 10 mana with full spell mana, you play Revitalizing Roar for 7, and then you still have 6 left over for Atrocity, which is cool. I don't know. I think this is also the type of card that, like, even if it's not good or playable right now, like, every time there's a 10 drop type of card that anytime there's a 10 drop card or something expensive, or if there's some weird, like, you know, how they did like Mountain Giant in Hearthstone where it cost 25 and you had to somehow reduce the cost. If you can, this is a card that cheats things into play. Traditionally, that can be very powerful.
And it also, it could potentially heal for a shit ton.
Yes.
Like that is something good. It's something, you know, all these Dream Freljord control decks that I want to play want. So, I mean, it could do just as good of a job. You know, potentially you could play this over like Tavern Keepers and stuff in your War Mother's Call deck.
Right.
Because I hate playing Tavern Keeper, which you need to, but I hate playing it in War Mother's Call because you always pull that.
Yep.
Every time you play War Mother, the first unit and second unit are always Tavern Keeper.
Yep.
So this is it's a spell that's not getting pulled, which is nice.
Yeah. I think it's a really cool card, even if it's not necessarily amazing right now. Okay, so we got, I think we talked about most of the Targon cards last time, but we did get some new ones since then. We got a couple of boring ones, Resplendent Stelacorn, cool name, and also cool art, but 5 mana, 4/5. When you play it, heal an ally and your Nexus for 3. So it's kind of cool that we're getting more heal stuff that's not just in Freljord, or I guess Ionia with Healing Pot. But so kind of a cool card there. Reminds me a little bit of Antique Healbot from Hearthstone. But we got some cards today, actually. The Sun cards, Daybreak, which is sort of the inverse of Nightfall,
which is thematic, right?
Yep.
Day and
flavor
night.
Flavor win, which is they get the ability if it is the first card played. So we got Solari Soldier, Daybreak, give me +1/+1 this round. Solari Shield Bearer, 2 mana, 2/3, Daybreak, give me +0/+4 this round. So a 3/6, pretty big.
Yeah, thick boy.
Sun Guardian, a 6 mana, 4/5 Overwhelm. Daybreak, give me +4/+4 this round. An 8/7 for 6 with Overwhelm. And then Ravun, Daylight's Spearer. 5 mana, 5/5 Daybreak. Create a random Daybreak card in hand. And it's always day for us.
Yep.
Which I believe means that...
Keeps your Daybreak.
What's that?
Doesn't it just keep your Daybreak?
Yeah, you just keep Daybreak,
yeah.
I think, forever.
I believe so.
Or something like that. I don't know.
It's either that or all of your cards that you play with Daybreak trigger their Daybreak ability.
Maybe.
But I don't know if it's that.
I don't know.
I feel like it's
either.
you keep your Daybreak.
I think it's just you keep Daybreak. Or maybe you don't trigger Nightfall. Or you can
I've been seeing a lot of
There's a confirmation on
cards.
Reddit. Someone from Riot confirmed it on Reddit, but I didn't remember what it was, and I don't have it up, so rip me.
Yeah. What's Reddit? Never heard of it.
I don't know. But
so I've been seeing a lot of hate on these cards. I've been seeing a lot of hate.
I don't necessarily have hate for them. I'm just kind of like, okay.
You get the like these have incredible stats for a turn, and then they're mediocre for the rest of the game.
Right.
Like the Shield Bearer, a 3/6 for 2 is really good.
Yeah, and actually, it's a 2 mana 3/2 just on its own. So
yeah, it's not bad.
It's a playable card for sure. the problem is like, yeah, Solari Soldier becomes a 3/3 for a turn. Okay, like that's good. I mean, we see I mean, a 1-mana 2/2 again, playable card. We see Cythria, we see baby Cythria played to this day, right? And of course, Jagged Butcher.
Yagad Buhier.
Yaga Bujera. I don't know why I said it like
that
that. He's a very good card. So I'm imagining Solari Soldier also probably sees a decent amount of play as well. And Sun Guardian, like, that's pretty aggressive. 6 mana, 8 power overwhelm seems pretty decent. Like, we're pushing like almost flipped Darius levels of strength, right? Like, that's pretty close. So
it's always sunny in Runeterra.
it is always sunny in Ravun's Ravun Daylight Spears world. So that's, I think, most of the new cards that we've seen thus far. Again, by this time next week when we record the next episode, everything should be out. The cards should be out as well. So that'll be fun to do. One last thing I wanted to bring up before we go here is that right now, Saucy and I are discussing details and levels and stuff for Patreon for the show. So if you have any ideas or stuff that you'd like to see us do, we're just kind of spitballing right now. Head over to the Discord, discord.me/Runeterrable Radio. Throw them in, I guess, the show suggestions channel. And, if you have any input or things that you would like to see in a Patreon, let us know.
Yeah, we've been asked many times by a lot of people to make a Patreon, and we've both just not had the time, and we didn't think you guys actually wanted to give us money that badly. So we've been brainstorming today. We had a very, very productive brainstorming session where I didn't just make up a whole bunch of bad rewards.
I spent most of the time just deleting things so that I don't accidentally post them.
I was just posting, like, every time I'd see that Blevins would stop editing the page because something came up, I would just go in and throw a bunch of shit in there that made no sense.
Yep.
So if you have legitimate suggestions, hit up Blevins and myself, throw them on Discord, chat us up, things you actually want, and we'll disregard them and come up with our own rewards. But at least you could feel validated, like we thought about your opinion mattering for a moment.
Yes, that is 100% accurate. But in all seriousness, we've already got sort of an outline here, but if there's something that you particularly wanted to see, let us know. There's a good chance.
If you're very, very, very rich and want to donate $100,000 a month, let us know whatever reward you want. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. What was the thing we were talking about before? Oh, the newspaper version of the newspaper version of the podcast. That's
I will fly out to your chateau.
It's $100,000 a month reward, but it is worth it. Let me tell you.
I will even hang out with you for at least 36 minutes. At least
at a pre-screened bubblegum shrimp in your area. Yes, that will happen.
Yes.
Ooh, that should be one of the goals. That should be one of the goals. Like, win a trip to Bubblegum Shrimp with Saucy and Blevins.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
That is a 10,000 level only. But in all seriousness, let us know what you think, and we'll be working on it. But Saucy, that is our time for the show.
Yeah,
Where can people?
Good show.
Yes, and we're gonna be. Oh, I'm so excited. We 1 week, and we're gonna have everything.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to play. Where can people find you on the internet and otherwise when you're not here on the show?
Yeah, you can find me. My website is just saucymailman.com. Same for my Twitch stream and YouTube. For whatever reason, I've been getting a whole bunch of people coming to YouTube saying, "Oh, I listen to Runeterrable Radio all the time and watch your YouTube videos all the time and didn't realize you were the same person." I am the Saucy Mailman.
Yep.
For release, I took off work, so I'm going to be streaming, doing another marathon Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, streaming more than I should, playing a lot of Lulu Teemo, and that's it.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. I also did the same thing. But you
We are
can.
mature.
We
you
are
and I.
mature adults who have real
Yep.
jobs and decided to
That we
forego
skip
those
to
to
play
play
video
video
games.
games. Yes, on the internet. But you can find me on the internet on Twitter at @the_Blevins, and you can find both of us on the podcast Discord, discord.me/Runeterrable Radio. We're on the show is on Twitter at Runeterrable. We've got Runeterrable.com. We've got DeckPics.Live. We've got all sorts of stuff. Again, let us know what you want to see in the Patreon. We'll probably have that out within the next week or so. If I had to guess, we'll probably, we'll see. Well, I'm not going to commit to a time because I know how, especially since this next week is going to be crazy with all the new stuff. But that is going to be it for this week. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. And we'll be back next week with Call of the Mountain. And we'll be talking all about it and all the other Legends of Runeterra stuff then. But we'll see you then. See ya. Meow, 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 meow.